Hey everyone, I'm Waller's Wallet, and today I am joined by Jason, the travel reward coach, to talk about what I would consider probably one of the more underrated reward currencies out on the market, Virgin Atlantic miles. So Jason, how you doing, man?
Doing great, Dustin. Great to have a chat with you, man. Talk
I
about
know, finally
Virgin.
great to finally hook up and do this collaboration. I know we've been trying for a bit. You're over in Bali now, and I'm back
I
home,
am.
so we're like, you're waking up. I'm getting it's nighttime here, so
Yep, yep. Just having my coffee.
and I'm currently having a beer, so it's a good time for both of us. So for those of you who don't know, Virgin Atlantic is a non-alliance partner to a lot of different airline programs out there. And I really think they have some great value. And they're probably one of the best options, I would say, to fly to certain parts of Asia. So Jason, I wanted to talk about, how easy it to earn Virgin Atlantic miles for people. I mean, as a whole, when we
They
look at
can't be
reward
much easier.
currencies,
They really can't be much easier. They're transfer partners of everyone. They've even got their own Bank of America card, which on occasion has like a 90,000 point sign up bonus. So
Mhm.
it is like a higher spend card, but if you need to like slow down on your applications for a bit and hit I think it's like a 10,000 minimum spend over like 6 months. It's a great
Right.
way to have like a nice high, bonus at the end while kind of slowing yourself down.
One thing I really like about Virgin Atlantic miles, one, besides the fact they're so easy to earn, but we always talk about like the Trace trifecta or the AMX trifecta or City card. If you're looking to earn Virgin Atlantic miles, you don't really have to fall into any of those categories. You can basically pick the
Hmm.
best earning card from each bank to really stack up the
Definitely.
points to earn a lot of these miles super, super fast. Because, like you said, I mean, membership rewards, ultimate rewards, they're co-branded credit card, which Bank of America, if you get that 90,000 point bonus, is stellar. And even
Yeah,
thank you points get on it. And also with their transfer bonuses too. I think currently we have American Express and City
I think
offering a
so. Yeah.
30% bonus. So like it's just so easy to earn these miles. So I think one thing we should take a look at is like what are some sweet spots for these points? I know we talk about getting the most value from our points, and most people want to hear about the sweet spots. So what are some sweet spots of Virgin Atlantic?
I mean, I would say the ultimate sweet spot is the ANA first class round trip to Japan. So I just did a video on that, kind of explaining how you go through it because it's a little trickier than some of the other sweet spots because you can't book it online. But all in all, it is not that bad. ANA round trip is going to be like over $25,000 probably. So it is a sweet redemption. It's not like the most gorgeous first class suite, but the service is just insane. You have a huge seat, and it's a great way to get some sleep on the way to Japan so you can get there feeling refreshed. You do
Right.
have to book a round trip, unfortunately, but it's 120 from the East Coast to Tokyo or 110 from the West Coast.
Yep.
So 55,000 miles one way. Heck, that's what it costs now to go to go one way in economy if you're lucky on something like Delta these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And if someone doesn't want to fly first class, you can even do business class. And that's still a really good deal. I think if you can get the extra miles, first class is great, but 90,000 from the West Coast, 95,000 from the East Coast. And with
That's
this
great.
transfer bonus, 30%, it even costs you 30% fewer miles for it. So that
Exactly.
there, I think I agree. I think the A&A route is something a lot of people either A, don't know how to look for and book.
Hmm.
When you want to book it, because a lot of people, I get messages, I'm sure you get them too, or, I don't see it over on Virgin Atlantic's website. So like, you want to tell people maybe how they could even search for availability for it.
Yeah, definitely. So, just the easiest way to do so is go on United's website. Now, you're going to have to call in Virgin Atlantic, but good news, guys, they are one of the few airlines with a competent award staff that understands the rules. They're going to be very nice to you. And of course, since they're British, they're already native English speaking. So, they've got a really great staff. It's going to be a lot easier than calling in most airlines, but you're going to go on United's website. You're going to be looking for first class availability. You're going to go on what's known as the advanced search option, and you're going to go and look for just Star Alliance partners. And then you're again going to look for just direct flights. They fly from Tokyo to, what is it, LA, San Francisco, Houston, Chicago, and DC. Is there one more?
And JFK, I think they do JFK as well. But
And with Houston, Chicago, and DC being the easier routes to find availability. So you're going to have to piece together your trip one by, one leg at a time, because it does need to be a round trip flight. But that's just the easiest way to go for it. And that'll show you the entire calendar, where you can just search as a whole, as a month, rather otherwise you'd have to go day by day through it. And you're going to look for, there's going to be little dots, and then they say premium award availability, which
right.
could be business class. You need to check again. But if you see that first class availability, definitely jump on it. They're semi-limited, especially if you're looking in the summer, especially if you're going to be looking for next summer with the Olympics there. If that's something you're trying to do, jump on that as soon as possible, because everyone in the world is going to be trying to use their points to go to Japan for that.
Right. A couple. So like I typically fly coach. So like I always try to look for like good, I'll say oversized coach value, if that's even a real thing. But some of them like from the West Coast. So like I was searching around the other day and even this morning as well. So like from the US over to Germany in coach, you could fly for 50,000 points round trip on Singapore Airlines. So anywhere that Singapore Airlines flies over to Germany, it's that Frankfurt route, JFK, that Frankfurt route is always a pretty popular one. It's 50,000 points in coach. And I actually reached out to Virgin Atlantic, and the taxes and fees mirrored what Singapore Airlines would charge to fly on their own metal. So
really? Wow.
yeah, so it was a really good value for that. I felt, just because you see some of these crazy like award surcharges or fuel surcharges being passed off to people. From the West Coast for coach flyers, there's the Fifth Freedom route from Air New Zealand for 50,000 points in coach.
That's a great one.
Taxes and fees, and it's a nonstop route. So if you're looking at most direct, you can't get more direct than nonstop.
And Air New Zealand's an epic airline anyway.
Absolutely. So you might get hit with those fuel surcharges just because it is London. There's really nothing you can do from the UK. And Delta One to Europe. I know that's probably something up your alley too, because 50,000 one way. That's insane, because that's just an insane value for like a first class product in general.
Yeah, that's as good as you're going to get. So with Delta, Virgin Atlantic, you're going to need to search ahead of time. And another thing is Virgin Atlantic's website is a little glitchy. So, Delta flies a ton of routes to Europe. So there's a good chance the route you're looking for might not be available on Virgin Atlantic's website. But if you guys are watching this, you're probably a little more savvy than the normal person who, if they go and they search on Virgin Atlantic's website, it doesn't work, they stop searching. But being able to go push a little bit harder, calling up Virgin Atlantic, or hop over to Delta's website and see if they have some availability. It might not match Virgin Atlantic's, but at least find out what routes they fly. Give Virgin Atlantic a call. They're one of the few airlines that I would ever say is okay to call up kind of blindly without knowing the exact day you're flying, the flight number, the time. That's usually the best way, but they're one of the few people that are actually good enough. They might actually be able to help you. So just go a couple of extra steps, and Virgin Atlantic will reward you.
One website I like to use when I'm looking even just for Delta, because Delta's pricing is it's all over the place, right? So if someone doesn't search them regularly, they might go, well, it shows it's available in coach for, we'll say 80,000 miles. Well, that might not be somewhere. So I personally actually check Flying Blue, because while it's not perfect, if Delta shows up there, it's usually bookable for other partners as well. So I personally check Flying Blue, but that's another good one. One other thing I like about Virgin Atlantic, and I would consider this a sweet spot for families, especially for lap infants. So like we have a 4-month-old now. So when we travel, I've been doing a lot of searching, looking for ways to reduce my international cost. And one great thing about Virgin Atlantic, they only charge you 10% in miles for a lap infant. So as opposed to some of these airlines charge you. So we're going to London later this year, and British Airways charges like $180 for $200 for our son to fly as a lap infant. I'm like, that's stupid money. Like I almost bought him his own seat because it was almost cheaper to do that.
Right.
But Virgin Atlantic, it's great for families in that sense, because 10% of the mile cost. So, 30,000 miles, we'll say one way on it, to Europe is 3,000 miles you have to pay for the lap infant, and some taxes, I think, as well. But it's a really good option for families with young kids. And the last one I wasn't
aware of that.
Yeah. So that's something I've been doing a little bit more digging into that, because I have to figure out ways to save myself some money on miles.
That one hasn't come up for me yet.
It starts getting harder when you look for 3 seats, I'm realizing. Because I'm starting he's starting to get a little bit bigger. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do lap child for 2 years. There's just no way.
Right.
He'll have his own poor man's business class seat while I'm stuck up in coach with his feet on me. I mean, the other one I think people don't typically think about, because on the service level it's more expensive, is 40,000 points round trip to Hawaii in coach. And while the 40,000 points isn't great because you can get it for 35,000 or even 25,000 with Korean Airlines, with their 30% transfer bonus right now, it's only 31,000 miles round trip to Hawaii on flying on Delta. So when you take advantage of those transfer bonus, it is a pretty good value.
So much value to be had with Virgin Atlantic.
Oh, I love those miles so much. So we've talked a lot of pros about them, they're really good, but what are some downfalls? I know you'd mentioned their website not being up to speed. Anything else that you think about maybe that might be a negative on them?
Just the fact that you can't book everything online, which, maybe that's a pro and a con, because it'll definitely scare off a lot of your, person who's not going to follow through on it. Most people won't pick up the phone and call to get ANA first class availability.
Right.
So that's good because there's only so much availability.
Yeah. There is only so much. And you have to when you find it, you got to book it. Cause I feel like something like the unicorn, people want that, especially with this 30%
I'm trying to book that back to the US on the way home. And there is just, I can't get the dates to work for me. I'm looking for anywhere to get back in the US. I'm just get me back to the US. I'll take it. I cannot find one.
I've been looking because we're looking to go possibly in October over to Tokyo, and I'm just looking, everything's waitlisted right now, and I'm just we'll see if it comes up. I agree. I think the fact that not all partners show is a negative, but also a positive, right? Because as we see I use American as an example. As we see American Airlines roll more partners online, it becomes easier, which means more people are going to book it, which means less availability for people who are willing to do the work. So while people might not realize that, and you make great points about there's a lot of routes Delta flies, and if it's not there, search it out, give a call. I actually had an agent actually find me availability with the online chat. So
okay.
Yeah, they were the person, I think, I was I have a bunch of questions. I was just pricing out routes with her, and she was just no, I got all day. You just keep giving me routes, and she was pricing out, and she actually priced. And interestingly enough with that, she actually priced out Singapore Airlines first class, which is on their award chart is not there.
Yeah, I just flew that a couple weeks ago to get here to Bali. And normally they don't ever release premium availability to any partners. It's extremely rare. So That's pretty interesting, because that's one that you have to just book through Singapore Air. So that's really cool if you could find it.
It's not on their award chart, and I think later she came back. She goes, "Oh wait, maybe I can't book that." But she gave me a pricing that seemed pretty legit. So I was pretty interested in that. I might have to give that a shot sometime. But I think as a whole, though, Virgin Atlantic miles are just super fantastic, since they just offer so much value, and their sweet spots are great. They have a lot of different sweet spots. Some programs have one or two, but there are quite a bit of sweet spots with this program. And it's just so easy to earn these miles. I mean, sign-up bonuses, hundreds of thousands of miles can be earned just from sign-up bonuses. And when you take into the consideration of the membership reward and thank you points, and we'll have to see if Chase ever gets in on this, because they just started offering the British Airways. So hopefully we see them keep into this, because that'd be huge. It's just so easy to earn these miles. So do you have anything else on Virgin Atlantic?
No, yeah, I'm a big fan. So,
So if you haven't realized, we're both big fans of Virgin Atlantic miles, and if you haven't looked into them, you definitely need to, because there's just so much value out there to be had. Even if you just play around with the award calendar, it's super easy to maneuver through. I will say, actually, one thing when you're searching online, even if the airports aren't there, when you know that they're there, we'll say Tokyo doesn't necessarily pop up when you're searching NRT or H&D or even just Tokyo in general. You have to go to you have to click the little global spot, go to the world, scroll down to Japan. So you do have to sometimes just open up the entire browser to look at it, as opposed to I guess there's
Definitely.
no, they don't, because they just don't fly over to this place.
Mhm.
So they get to do those as well. So Jason, where can people find you at?
YouTube, travel rewards coach on YouTube,
Yeah.
pretty much same, Instagram, Facebook.com, all that.
All right. I'll be sure to put those down in the description below. If you don't follow or subscribe to Jason's channel, definitely do so. He puts out some great content out there. I know he has a boot camp as well.
Yeah, so I'm just about to release Travel Rewards Bootcamp 2.0, which is where you take in a small group of people and help go through stuff like this with them. We figure out where they want to go, how to get there, and work one-on-one so we can get everyone their travel goals.
That's right. So be sure to check that out as well if you're interested in that. So my question for you is, so tell me, what do you think of Virgin Atlantic miles? And have you ever looked into them or booked a flight using them? Leave me a comment down below. Hey, if you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you know somebody who might benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them. And if you want to help support the channel, a simple way is to use the links on the website or in the description below. And if you like learning about credit cards, points, miles, cash back, or just a lot of traveling for less, consider the subscribe button down below. And until next time, safe travels and take care.